The first relationship is the relationship between you and a man that you look up to, either as a father or as a mentor or as an instructor, one who has gone ahead of you in the path that you are going to take. That's a relationship, and it is vertical. It's a relationship where you look up. You look up. The second relationship that every man should have is a relationship on the same level. So you look around, because these are brothers, they're your contemporaries. There are people who may not know more than you do. They might be going through the same things as you do. They are all taking their children to high school just like you. They are all buying their first home just like you. So that's a second level of relationship where you don't look up, but you look around because they are on the same level as you. Then there's a third level of relationship that you need to have with men who are looking up to you. These are men who are below you. They are men who are hoping to get to where you are already. And these become your proteges, they become your mentees, they become your sons, they become your disciples. When you surround yourself with those three, there are times when you need to look up, sometimes you need to look around, sometimes you need to look down. If you just learn something, then you can teach those on your level and those below you. If you are going through a challenge, then you can look up for help, and sometimes you also look around. And at least even if your contemporaries do not know the answer, you can discuss. You can ask yourself the question, men like us, whose daughters have come to puberty, whose sons are teenagers, how should we handle these guys? And you discuss and discuss and discuss, and each of you carry some wisdom home. Now, come back to the question of dealing with conflicts among men. I would like to begin by saying, you need those people that you are in conflict with, both in the present and in the future. Like Paul and Barnabas had that conflict about John Mark, and at that particular time, the conflict was so sharp that the only way was for them to part company. But later on in life, you know, Barnabas was no longer part of Paul's ministry. It's like from Acts 15, they went different ways. So while as Barnabas was absent in Paul's life, Paul says, bring to me John Mark. He is very, very useful to me. So that means then when we get to a place of conflict, we should solve our conflicts with the full knowledge of the fact that you need that brother. Maybe not now. Maybe you have too many of them now, you can do without this particular one. But in days that are coming, and you don't know the future, but God knows the future, the very person you thought you have no need of today might be the most important person in your life. So we should solve our conflicts with a reconciliatory, restorational kind of an attitude. We don't want to cast out. Yes, we may need to correct brothers. Yes, we may need to agree to differ on some things. But people will never differ forever. One time, the one who was not seeing what you are seeing, after some time, they will begin to see the same way. And they'll be the first ones to come and tell you, I think you are right. I think I was wrong. Do I ever go through such myself? Yes. At any one time, I could say that I have a conflict. And you know me, because I'm in preaching, in ministry, most of my conflicts have to do with preaching. Somebody may disagree with what I preached, or somebody may disagree with my method and style of doing ministry. But I have found some people that we differed with in the past, later on come over and say, I think you had seen something that I needed to see. And vice versa. I've also sometimes differed with someone in their approach or their focus in ministry about something. I think that's not right. But after some time, I think that brother is doing better than me. It could be because of that thing I thought that should not happen, and he has insisted, and then I get back to him and seek for counsel, and I get redeemed as I redeem my brother. So conflicts are there. I mean, you go to the Bible, many people had, even Jesus had internal conflicts. Like one time, Peter denied him. That's a conflict. But see how Jesus handles it? Later on in John 21, he asked Peter 3 times the question, do you love me? One for each for each of the times that Peter had denied him. And he restored him back. He restored him back. Because the people you differ with today, the people you're in conflict with today, I can guarantee you, you will meet with them somewhere in the future. So why not therefore sort out our issues? Even if we have to just agree, let's give each other a break and give each other that benefit of a doubt, but we are not disconnecting from one another. At least we remain in touch. If we meet somewhere in the malls, at least we'll shake hands. Then in the course of time, you find we begin to gravitate towards each other. Because we are one body, because we are brothers, because we have one head, even Christ. Amen.
So while you're still holding the mic, there's also another question that has come, which has to do with social pressures. You know, in Africa and in society, in Africa, one of the definitions of manhood is children. And so there's a question here. How can you handle social pressure, or where you'll be married for a long time, but you're failing maybe to have a child? And how can you, what's your advice to a man who could be going through that kind of pressure? Pressure from the family, pressure also at church. I've seen these young people getting married 3-4 years down the road, and the elders are asking, what's happening? You don't have a child. What's happening? And some people feel so pressured that they even leave church. So how can you help somebody who's going through that? And what's your advice also to the church on how we can help brothers? You can see a brother has got certain, maybe a struggle, is going through some pressure. How can we make it easier for them?
I would not blame the society for pressurizing us because of their expectations, some of which are cultural, traditional. This is what is expected, in the people group or the clan where you come from. It's not just about children. In some other cultures, you are pressured because you should not have just one wife. They claim if you have only one wife, you are not a generous man. And they will be asking you, when are you bringing? And the pressure could take any shape, could take. You should make others understand what you believe. You're not just a church guy, but you believe. And this is what I believe. And you state what you believe. And on stating what you believe, then stand by what you believe. Right? Something like this. I believe children are given by God. And we are praying, me and my wife are praying and doing what we must do to get children. And we are waiting and believing on God. Now, I think that answers the question that would have put you under pressure. When are we going to see the children? Because you are not going to go outside there, sire children with other women in case it's your wife that has a health condition or an issue. Or you will not encourage your wife, go and sleep with another man out there, just have a baby, let the baby be born here, and we cheat all these people that we got a baby. You not go that way, because then that will be practicing immorality. You don't want to do that. Why? Because of what you believe. So once you state what you believe and state your stand on matters, then the rest of it will be the people's opinions. But at least they know what you think. They know you are responsible about the issue. And you may not do anything more in terms of changing what they think or what they feel, but at least you have communicated from the depth of your heart very clearly and very truly to the people what they need to expect. But of course, in some cases also, it's not about stating what you believe and stating your stand. Sometimes you also need to rebuke people because of the belief systems and practices which you know outrightly is ungodly. And you could use that as an opportunity to also rebuke them and tell them, by the way, this thing we have always believed in and always practiced, it's ungodly. And then you could use that as a point of either educating them or witnessing to them or whatever the case might be. And the more vocal you are, the less trouble you have in future because you communicated your mind. So in future, they will always refer to what you told them. But if you just sound like you are wishy-washy, you are not sure whether you are Christian or whether you will follow the Bible or you can bend the rules a little bit, they will keep perturbing you.
Pastor, as a follow-up question, just to follow up on the same topic. If, for example, a brother, you know this, you even have a solution, maybe to what your brother is going through. You know, as men, we are quite secretive of what we're going through, especially on the issues that we are going through. You might be going through a situation, you are having, say, an erectile dysfunction, and you don't know how to ask for help. But there are brothers who could have gone through that, and maybe they know the solution. They can lead you to a medical practitioner. Or we can see a brother who's going through depression, and you know that they can go and see this medical person for help, or this one for spiritual counseling. But then as men, we find it difficult to break the ice and say, brother, how can we quote things that we can't easily talk about? How can we break this secrecy and so we don't die alone? I've seen a lot of men, they are dying alone. They are taking concoction, until their liver and everything else is destroyed. When solutions could be found in the house.